Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Welcome to the celebration of CITRIS Hall, which is the home of the Banatow Institute at CITRIS Berkeley and the overall headquarters of the four-campus Institute of CITRIS. Today, we celebrate a dream that began 10 years ago in 1999. Thousands of people, thousands, have now contributed to that dream of creating an institute devoted to multidisciplinary research in the interests of society. Now, beyond the group of us that wrote the original proposal, I want to thank a dedicated group of corporate partners who relentlessly drove with us to Sacramento to lobby for CITRIS. We owe our thanks to the first 4 directors of CITRIS. We owe our thanks to the first 4 chief scientists. We owe our thanks to the most recent director before me, and many, many faculty and staff who have contributed to CITRIS. So today now, CITRIS is anchored in this wonderful building, CITRIS Hall, home of the Banatow Institute at CITRIS Berkeley. And the funding not only made possible by the state of California, but also by the many generous benefactors that are behind me. And I'd like to pause my remarks for a second while we applaud the folks behind me who have generated this building. Thank you. And of course, we all tip our hats to the building architects, the engineers, and the contractors who have created this superb facility. Now, in our new brochure, I have it here, I wrote that the mission of CITRIS is to shorten the pipeline between world-class laboratory research, the creation of startups, larger companies, and in fact, whole industries. But really, our work goes way beyond those words. So let me share with you some of the magic of CITRIS. Now, a very large part of this building, almost 1/3, is the Marvell nanofabrication facility. This is a vastly expanded version of the microlab that many of you are familiar with in Corey Hall that's existed for many decades. Colleagues from that lab have recently conveyed to me that in the last 10 years of CITRIS, that lab has brought in nearly $500 million worth of research. $500 million of research. They have trained thousands of students to go into large companies, plus, listen to this statistic, 76 startup companies have come from that research, creating at least 1,000 jobs in those 76 startup companies. That's incredible, 76 startup companies from one lab. Let me choose healthcare next. Because of sophisticated high-speed networking and high-speed video conferencing developed in CITRIS, the California telehealth network has been set up so that a gifted specialist in Sacramento can now lifetime communicate with a patient in any California county. The statistics for that are that 500 new facilities are being contacted on that telehealth network, and 3 million Californians in rural communities that would not have otherwise had health care of that quality are now being reached. 500 facilities, 3 million Californians in rural communities. For the last 8 years, CITRIS has worked side by side with the California Energy Commission and the Public Interest Energy Research Program. We have used wireless sensor networks for smart buildings. Many projects in energy efficiency and in demand response have created a great deal of research to lower our energy usage in California. An EPA report, a recently issued EPA report, estimates that this will eliminate the need to build 5 power plants in California. It will save us, it will save you $10 million. It will take 9 million tons of carbon dioxide out of the air, and we recently calculated that's about approximately 1.3 million cars, mid-sized cars. That's an enormous savings in money and in carbon footprint by doing this kind of work. That was based on CITRIS wireless sensor network technology. I even carry one of these permanently in my pocket. You can't see it from that distance, but it's a small wireless network. That work was funded by the National Science Foundation and the Defense Department around 1998, 1999. And without CITRIS, it could just as easily been the work of academics and stayed in the library. Instead, because of CITRIS, because of the ecosystem of CITRIS, that work with those tiny sensors, it inspires colleagues to create smart buildings in architecture. It creates biologists who are inspired to track birds and animals. It creates ideas for water engineers to track our water in the Sierras, the rainfall collection, which in turn enables us to maintain our high-quality agriculture and urban drinking water. That's the kind of thing that CITRIS can do. And in that area alone, we know of at least 10 companies that have been formed with their startup, in addition to that 76 that I mentioned in my previous talk. So let me come to something a little more personal and quiet at the moment. You remember the last President's Day weekend? It was raining heavily, but a group of us gathered to watch the Newton footbridge lowered in place that now connects Corey Hall to this wonderful building with its Globe Center, the Banatao Institute, and all of the wonderful laboratories in this building. I reflected on how Corey Hall, you know, that's the hardcore part of IT, now connected physically to this building with its impact on society. We, with great love, named that bridge after our dear friend Richard Newton. And to do that, I must say, to do that is both literal and it's allegorical in its impact. It's literal because over many decades, millions of footsteps will be going across that bridge, thousands of students, millions of footsteps carrying their ideas. But it's allegorical because they will be taking hard IT ideas and making an impact on society in this building. Similarly, projects concerned with society in this building will be inspiring the next generation of sensors, transistors, embedded systems, wireless networking, high-speed video networks for that California telehealth network, for example. And you know, there are other bridges. One bridge connects our rising star in the east, the University of California, Merced, to this building. This is the headquarters building. Our distinguished colleagues at the University of California, Davis, are now connected to this building. Our friends in the West at the University of California, Santa Cruz, are connected to this building. My friends Clark Kerr, in his day, would have been so immensely proud of those connections. My friends, we face the unpleasant reality of an international recession. But there's no better time than this for CITRIS. In fact, this is our golden opportunity because CITRIS, with its multidisciplinary research teams, will work together on our social challenges. Here, in this building, the brilliant minds of professors, graduate students, and research staff will work together to create these fragile prototypes, which will then come together to be more robust engineered products, which will start small startup companies, and then larger companies, and then whole industries. It's my job, it is our job in CITRIS to shorten that process I just described, to shorten that pipeline, to reignite the California economy, to reignite the national economy, to reignite the international economy. So, my wonderful friends, in closing, usually on this campus, we say, go Bears. But today, I say, go CITRIS. I say, go California. I say, go the world economy. Thank you. Thank you very much for coming today. Thank you. Thank you very much. You can see I have my blood going in my veins now. Another wonderful enthusiast for this program is my close friend Shankar Sastry, who was appointed Dean of UC Berkeley's College of Engineering very recently. Shankar is a phenomenal academic. He holds faculty appointments in 3 departments: electrical engineering and computer science, bioengineering, and mechanical engineering. And he also serves as the director of the Blum Center for Developing Economies. He's also a young father, and I just don't know when he sleeps. He was the 2nd director of CITRIS prior to me. He is a wonderful human being, and it's a great pleasure to invite him to the podium to read the message from Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, who could not be with us today. Please welcome Shankar to the podium.